Hey everybody, it's Angie from Color Tree Creations. I'm here tonight or today, whatever time it may be where you are, to show you how I do my hardcover journal covers without using chipboard or gutted books. As you can see, this is from my printable down on the farm, and I made this book using this technique on how to do no chipboard. And here is another example. This is probably my favorite journal I've ever made. But yeah, see, it's nice and thick, and it's sturdy. It's a good piece of book. I almost said literature. It's not been written yet. I hope someday it will be a good piece of literature. Anyway, so this is what I do. This is 3 pieces of cardstock, or, well, this is a manila envelope and 2 pieces of bookboard, or not bookboard, why did I say that? Cereal box. And this spine is 2 pieces of cereal box. Oh, by the way, just in case you're wondering, the border is, let me adjust this here a little bit, is so that I can see where I'm supposed to be at. Apparently I moved myself. There we go. A little more room around here. Anyway, so what I do is I take a blank piece of paper. Doesn't matter the size, bigger, or it could even be smaller. I've done smaller. But I use it to line my pieces up. I take and trace around my spine piece so that I have a basis of where to put my a double thickness line for my journal. What I want to do is just line it up and give myself a mark of how far. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want a guesstimate at least of how far to put my bookboard or pieces, my book pieces, apart from the spine. So that looks a little wider. Look at that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try to fix that. I don't edit. I don't know how. Maybe someday I'll learn. I've just now gotten to where I can video overhead. Alright, there. That's better. And so, super simple. I've got Mod Podge and a brush, and what I'm going to do is put a layer of Mod Podge on my paper here for my spine piece to lay on. This is to reinforce the hinge of the book itself, because I'm going to be using a masking paper to put it together. So I'm going to put this here, line it up as good as I can. That stuff grabs quick when you don't put a whole bunch. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's the beauty of handmade. I will, however, take a straight piece of paper and line it up there. Now that I have that, so I can give myself a top border and a bottom border. Let's get this, because I know it's a little off, it's a little wonky, so I can't, if I were to put it straight with, parallel with the paper edge, it would be way high up on one side. So that's how I'm going to do that. I'm just going to add some more glue. Do one side at a time. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is handmade. This is art. I'm doing this journal to be part of a event, a charity event. This is going to be for, I didn't get that one up on top. This is going to be for my friend Heather, for her walk she does to benefit MS and a couple of other foundations. And since I adhered and then took it apart, now it's not going to stick great, so I gotta get that on there proper. And every walk that she does costs, and the reason why it costs is because from the way I understand it, I haven't really asked her about it. I just read all of the information that she posts on Facebook, and I retain water like a leaky sieve. So, leaky sieve, see? It doesn't even make sense, that's redundant. She walks in honor of the people who cannot walk for themselves, people with MS and other diseases. But what she does is to help fund research for cures for these diseases. She raises money and also raises awareness. So when she raises this money, she has to find fundraising ways to do it. Well, she's been doing giveaway baskets and all kinds of stuff. So I was talking to her, and she did a yard sale, and I took her some of the stuff that we didn't want anymore, some kids' clothes, and I took her some crochet stuff, one of those knitting machines. I got it because I thought maybe my kids would like it. Nah, they're not into craft stuff the way I am, so. Anywho, I took her that stuff, and we got to talking, and I thought, well, she needs to raise a certain amount of money by a certain time, so I'm going to do a journal and she can auction it off or do raffle tickets for it, whatever she wants to do, or we can put it on Facebook and just sell it, you know, the highest bidder, or first come first serve, whatever she wants to do. So that's what this is for. Anywho, so this is my pre-book, Reinforced Spine. All right. For the most part, these this book board, this conglomeration of pieces, is straight. It's not perfect. It's handmade. You'll probably hear me say that 50 more times, and I apologize. That's just my justification for not being perfect, even though I would love to be. But it's handmade, and I'm not a machine, so it comes out how it does. Anyway, so when I do put the paper on this, it will get curled up. But these pieces of board curled up too, and all you do is you just lay them under a board or a stack of books. That's what I do, a stack of books, but I know some people have book presses and stuff like that, which is fine and dandy. I just use a stack of books because I have books coming out my ears. We homeschool. I'm a book lover. We just have a lot of books. What I cover mine in is this. It's really thin. It's called masking paper, and you can get it at hardware stores, get it at Walmart. I'm going to measure this out. I usually cut a piece and use my trimmer. I'm not getting my trimmer out, so I'm just going to cut this like this. Oops. Ta-da! Cut. And as you can tell, the last one I just ripped off. I don't know if I can get that to stand. And this is super simple. What I do is I lay it out. And I do this for a reason. I just trace it to get my first, my glue down so that I don't have it way out here in left field, making a huge mess on my arm and stuff. I've already done one today and I've got glue everywhere. I'm trying not to peel off, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, I have another journal that I'm also making, that's the other one I was working on today, for a girl that I went to school with. Her mom has been diagnosed with cancer and has bills piling up, and she can't afford to work for her health reasons, so she can't afford to live without an income. So we're doing a benefit. I'm helping by donating a journal for them to sell, and possibly they're doing a dinner, so I'm going to see if there's anything that I can cook, anything I can fix for the benefit dinner they're having. And anyway, this girl, when my mom was sick, when I was in college, my freshman year of college, my mom passed away, and she had had cancer. She was diagnosed when I was almost 16, and lost her when I was 18. She was only 38 years old. I'm 37 now, and I think every day, oh goodness, every time I get an acre of pain. I know it sounds silly, but you know, it sticks with you. So I know exactly what she's going through as far as the fear and everything else that, you know, I want to help out as much as I can. She was there for me when my mom passed away, and she helped take care of her when she was sick also. So sometimes I scrunch this paper up too, by the way. This time I didn't. I got busy yakking, but that's okay because look, the glue went ahead and left us some lines. I'll add a little more glue down here. Get me some pressure on these corners along with some more glue. But yeah, I'm sorry I ramble. I guess it's better than nothing. I could be cold and unfriendly. But yeah, so I just want to do my part to help people. You know, I can donate money till the cows come home, but sometimes I think things like this help better, because while I might only be able to give $25 because that's all I can afford, this journal, I already have the stuff here. If it's an auction or a raffle, it might bring in $50. And I would much rather her come in with the $50 than my measly $25. So that's my thinking behind it anyway. Just trying to be a blessing to someone who is being a blessing, if that makes any sense. So I'm just cutting this down about an inch outside the border here. I gotta take out my trash can. It's full. And I'm just gonna fold it over like you would a regular cover, but it's not a regular cover because we're going to put something on the front and on the back. This one is going to be a, I can't decide if I want to do Polished Lackluster or New Beginnings by TsunamiRose. I really like the colors in New Beginnings, but Polished Lackluster is my all-time favorite just ever journal kit. So, I really, really, really like the Fairy Dust journal kit that I have done also, though. It's a toss-up, I think. I'm just notching my corners. I'm sorry if you hear my tummy growling. I had pizza for dinner and I don't think I should have ate anything. I'm just not feeling so hot as far as to the tummy now. Alright, now I will glue this. I had to check to make sure my camera was working. It shut off on me a while ago. I don't know what happened. It just bloop. And that was the end of it. And I had an entire journal cover done. Well, you know, the base for it. My setup, I guess you would call it. I don't do anything special for my corners. I just make sure that there's enough here on the edges so that when I fold it over, and I'm not trying to smooth it out, I just want to get good adhesion, good contact. I just make sure that that's folded in on each side, and then I make sure it's all glued down too. Like I said, gotta make sure that there's good adhesion here. It will be covered up, but we don't want stuff coming loose and being bulgy or anything, so do it right the first time and it won't make, you know, it shouldn't make a mess of things later on. But life happens, stuff happens, and I get that. I'm a mom of 3, 13, 7, and 2. Stuff happens. See, like this. Okay, get that nice and flat up there. To the book, to the board, whatever. And I just push the little corners flat. And I get a little more glue. And I just go over it. I'm using paper scraps to try to wipe up this glue because I left my wipes on the other side of the room. I need to get my little push cart. When I get it in here, I'll show you guys. It is a wicker tea table that my grandmother gave me years ago. And tea cart, not tea table, and I just absolutely love it. I've taken it to fairs with me as a display. It's just gorgeous. It's dark. It's stained a dark color blue. And yeah, that's something else. That's a little too private that I'm not going to get into, but my grandmother has Alzheimer's and I don't get to see her anymore due to other family issues, and I know everybody's going to be like, oh, don't let that stop you. Well, there's, like I said, there's so much more to it, and I'm not going to go into that. I might be a pretty open person, but some things are just meant to be private. But I sure do miss her. I didn't get to spend nearly as much time with her as I wanted before she got sick, so there's a lot of guilt that weighs on me on that one. But anywho, I'm going to lay this under a book, a stack of books, and then I will come back, and when it's dry, I will finish doing the inside. This is what I normally do. I just scrunch it up. I left it flat this time. I left it flat for the whimsy, for the fairy journal too, so it only has a few little ribs and ridges. But yeah, that's it for making my book cover. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked listening to Angie ramble on and on and on like a goofball. Because I'm pretty much, that's what I am, a goofball. But yeah, that's it. It's done. I will make my signatures. And before I do that, while I'm thinking of it, leave me a comment down below. Vote. Which do you think? Should I do the Polished Lackluster, which is kind of a black and pink and Paris themed? You can go look at TsunamiRose's Etsy page and, or pages, and tell me what you think. Should I use New Beginnings or Polished Lackluster? Or should I do another one of these, the Whimsy? Leave me a comment below if there's a different